All right, so buckle up, everyone, for our tech deep dive today. We've been scouring the headlines from everywhere, got some Ars Technica in the mix, bit of SciTech Daily, even some GeekWire sprinkled in
A
there.
real smorgasbord of tech.
Exactly. And, the goal here is to sift through all that noise, right? Where
Yeah.
are the big trends, the things that are actually going to impact you? What should you be paying attention to? So let's jump right in.
Yeah, let's do it.
One thing that just keeps popping up everywhere we look is AI.
Seriously. It's like AI is everywhere.
Right. Like take Apple, for example. They're rolling out this Apple Intelligence thing with the new iOS 18.1.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Basically, imagine Siri on steroids.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just about like setting timers or sending texts anymore. We're talking about a level of personalization and intuition that's kind of freaky.
Yeah, it's like it can almost anticipate your needs.
Totally. Like imagine your AirPods just knowing what you want to listen to before you even think about it.
Yeah. Wow, that's wild. But, it does make you think, though, right? Like, how much are we willing to let AI take over? I mean, convenience is great,
Sure.
but at what point are we relying on these systems too much? It's a bit of a slippery slope, I think.
That's a really good point. And speaking of AI and maybe some unintended consequences, Meta had to kind of backpedal on their plans for that nuclear-powered data center.
Oh, yeah, I remember that story. What happened again? Was it something about the location?
It was, yeah. Turns out endangered bees near the site became a big environmental concern.
Seriously, bees stopped a nuclear-powered data center.
Yeah. Shows you how complex these issues are, right? I mean, on the one hand, you have this amazing technological advancement, but on the other, you have to consider the environmental impact, the sustainability aspects.
It's a tough balance to strike. We can't just keep pushing forward without thinking about the long-term consequences.
For sure. Okay, ready for something totally different?
I mean,
So the U.S. Space Force, yeah, that's a thing. They're kind of freaking out about how quickly China's space program is advancing. They're calling it mind-bogglingly fast.
wow. Sounds like we've got ourselves a good old-fashioned space race on our hands.
Right. Back to the future. But this time, AI is a major player.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You can't really talk about space exploration without talking about AI. It's everywhere. Autonomous spacecraft, robots exploring other planets, AI sifting through all that data from telescopes. It's kind of mind-blowing.
Okay, so from outer space, let's zoom into like the microscopic level. Nanotechnology is making huge strides too. We're talking about tiny robots delivering medicine right to specific cells in your body.
Wow.
Materials that can like repair themselves.
What?
Yeah. And even the possibility of creating totally new materials with properties we haven't even thought of yet.
I mean, that sounds straight out of science fiction. It's incredible to think about the potential applications for that kind of tech medicine, manufacturing, you name it.
Right. Imagine a world where we can build things from the bottom up, like atom by atom, wild stuff.
It is wild. But all this tech, it needs power.
Lots of power.
And that's where renewable energy comes in. It's more important than ever.
Oh, totally. And the good news is solar and wind power are becoming more efficient and more affordable all the time.
Which is a good thing, considering how much energy we're using these days. And, like we were talking about with Meta and the data center, we can't just keep consuming energy without thinking about the impact on the planet.
Definitely not.
Sustainable energy is the way forward, and that's good news for everyone.
All right, before we get too deep into saving the planet, let's talk about something a little closer to home. Black Friday. It's almost here, and you know what that means. Deals, deals, deals.
Are you going to brave the crowds this year?
Oh, I don't know about that. Maybe I'll just do all my shopping online.
Probably a good plan. Less stressful, that's for sure.
Definitely. But hey, speaking of things that are going to impact everyday life, AI is going to play a huge role in the 2024 election. Campaigns are already using it for like targeted ads and figuring out how to reach voters.
Yeah, it's fascinating, but it also has a dark side, right? I mean, what about the potential for AI-generated misinformation? Fake news articles, manipulated videos, things that are so realistic you can't even tell they're fake.
That's scary. I mean, how do we even combat that?
It's a tough question. Maybe we need like fact-checking algorithms powered by AI itself. I don't know. It's like a constant game of cat and mouse.
Right. The tech is always evolving. Speaking of which, we can't forget about quantum computing. This is some next-level stuff. They're calling it beyond classical computers because it can solve problems that are just like impossible for our regular computers to handle.
I know. It's like we're on the verge of a whole new era of computing, and the possibilities are just mind-boggling. Imagine being able to design new drugs with incredible precision, create encryption that's virtually unbreakable, or model complex systems like the climate. in a way that's never been possible before.
Seriously, the potential is just enormous.
Absolutely.
And as all this computing power changes, so does the way we work. Look at how many companies are going fully remote. It's like the office is becoming a thing of the past.
And it's not just tech companies anymore. This shift to remote work is impacting pretty much every industry. It's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, definitely. It's crazy to think about how much the tech world is changing, and AI seems to be at the center of it all.
Totally. I mean, it's impacting everything from our phones to space exploration to the way we work. It's kind of overwhelming when you stop and think about it. Makes you wonder what the world's going to look like in 5 or 10 years.
Right. What new opportunities will emerge? What new challenges? I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Exactly. And that's the exciting part. We're living through a time of incredible change, and it's only going to get more interesting from here on out.
So there you have it, folks. Our tech deep dive for today. Stay tuned for more exciting updates from the world of tech. And until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
And remember, the future is what we make it.
That's a great note to end on. Until next time.
See ya.